Welcome back, everyone. As many of you have heard, one night Muhammad took a trip. First, he went from Mecca to Jerusalem, and then from Jerusalem all the way up to the highest heaven. As you might imagine, Islamic tradition gives us lots of details about this trip. I'll read those details to you from a thread on Reddit. This is because Blackjack, who you see in the comments section, and who authors the excellent blog, The Islam Issue, emailed me about this topic and suggested that if I do a video on it, I should attempt to read this thread seriously, as if it were factual. So here we go. Let's look at some details about Muhammad's night journey, starting with fact number 1. Archangel Gabriel opens the roof of Muhammad's house and descends into it. Now, why the roof? Well, obviously, Gabriel has a lot of wings, and they're really big. They can't fit through the door. If you're an angel, you take apart the roof, and then you drop into a house that way. Fact 2. Gabriel cuts open Muhammad's torso, takes out his heart, cleans it, this is getting kind of disgusting, stuffs it with wisdom and faith, taken from a golden pot. I'm not so sure that was wisdom and faith, given how Muhammad was depicted in the Hadith. Fact number 3. Gabriel brings the Buraq, a white, flying, donkey-like creature. The Buraq doesn't show Muhammad proper respect, and no one disrespects Muhammad and gets away with it. I respectfully disagree. So Gabriel scolds the Buraq, making the flying donkey sweat. Fact 4. Muhammad and Gabriel hop onto the Buraq's back and they all fly to Jerusalem. Now you may wonder, why didn't Gabriel fly? Gabriel can fly and the pseudo-donkey can fly, but Muhammad can't fly. Then why didn't Gabriel fly with the donkey while Muhammad was flying on the donkey? Or why didn't Muhammad ride on Gabriel while Gabriel was flying and the donkey was flying? The reason that Muhammad and Gabriel both rode on the flying donkey is that Gabriel was tired because he had already flown down and dismantled the roof, and he just wanted a break. Fact 5. They land in Jerusalem. Now, you may think that it's been a long-standing policy of the Saudis that you don't fly directly from their country to Israel. You have to stop in Jordan, right? But that's actually not the case. We have historical precedent for direct flights from Saudi Arabia to Israel, and that's right here with Muhammad and Gabriel and the flying donkey thing. And in bold, Muhammad, ignorant of his own religion, didn't realize that the temple, destroyed in 70 CE, was never rebuilt. Al-Aqsa doesn't exist. Now, there's a very easy answer for this historical anachronism, referencing Al-Aqsa before it actually exists. The answer is simple. Fact 6. In the mosque, all the prophets gathered so that Muhammad could lead them in prayer. Fact 7. When Muhammad exits the mosque, Gabriel offers Muhammad wine and milk, which turns out to be a test, which Muhammad, of course, passed. Fact 8. The Buraq, like a rocket ship, shoots out of the Earth's atmosphere to the first heaven, with Muhammad and Gabriel on his back. Yee-haw. Now this must have been a wild ride because the donkey has to dodge the stars that are being shot at the jinn who are listening in to the conversations in heaven. So you can just imagine how this works with Muhammad on this pseudo-flying donkey, and then there's Gabriel, and they're just flying through the shooting stars. This is awesome. Fact 9. They do a tour of all 7 heavens. Could this be an echo of Merkava mysticism, where Muhammad, like a Jewish mystic, ascends through the 7 heavens? Fact 10. In the 6th heaven, a jealous Moses is crying because Muhammad will have more followers than him. Is now a good time to mention the avalanche of apostasy that Muslim leaders are talking about? Probably not. Let's just continue. Fact 11. In the 7th heaven, they pass by the exalted assembly of angels, writing down Allah's decrees, and Gabriel freaks out because he's afraid of Allah. Fact 12. In the 7th heaven, Gabriel shows Muhammad the Kaaba of heaven. Gabriel also shows Muhammad his 600-wing form. Remember what I said earlier about lots of big wings that Gabriel had. You can't fit through the door of a house. He also shows Muhammad a gigantic lote tree whose roots go down to the 6th heaven. The tree also had golden butterflies. Fact 13. In a surprising plot twist, Gabriel gives Muhammad the wine versus milk test again, but tricky Gabriel, he adds honey as a third choice. Muhammad didn't fall for that. He passed the test again. Fact 14, Allah gives Muslims way too many prayers to say per day. So Muhammad figures out how to get him down to 5 prayers, but still get full credit for 50. Muhammad had lots of wives to have sex with. He had lots of battles to fight. You can't just sit around praying all day. So we see the reasonableness of Muhammad really coming through here. Very practical, very pragmatic. Fact 15. After crushing Allah in the negotiation, Muhammad enters the main area of paradise, where he sees domes of pearls, and blah blah blah. Fact 15a. There's other zaniness, as the clown icon would indicate, and it's unclear when in the story these things occur. But there's something about Muhammad visiting hell, seeing sinners scratch their faces with copper fingernails, and then others having their lips cut off with scissors of fire. Interesting. And fact 16, Gabriel tells Muhammad to go back to Earth, and Muhammad wakes up in the sacred mosque. Now you know way more than you need to about Muhammad's night journey. But do Muslims believe that Muhammad was physically transported during this experience, or do they believe that he simply saw a vision? Well, it depends on who you ask. Traditionalists who affirm Muhammad was physically transported on his night journey appeal to Surah 17, which reads, "Glory to the one who sent his servant on a journey by night from the sacred mosque to the farthest mosque, whose surroundings we have blessed, so that we might show him some of our signs. Surely he is the hearing, the seeing." You may have noticed that getting all of the numerous details of the night journey out of this vague verse is simply impossible. Professor Ayman Ibrahim lists some problems when trying to base the story of Muhammad's night journey on this passage. Here's a summary of them. The link from Surah 17:1 to the night journey is based off of later tradition. The verse does not reference geographical locations. There was no mosque in Mecca at the time. There was also no mosque in Jerusalem at the time. The servant in the verse is not said to be Muhammad, and could be someone else based on the surrounding context. See, for example, verses 2 through 4. And finally, the verse doesn't mention the second part of the night journey, the most important part. That would be the ascent into heaven. But Ibrahim notes more problems when we compare the traditional account with what we see in Muhammad's biographies, the earliest sources. Recall 2 details. First, Muhammad was allegedly taken to the mosque in Jerusalem. And second, Muhammad was given, after negotiation, the number of times to pray each day. About these details, Ibrahim comments, Muhammad's seerah is absolutely clear. It never mentions that Muhammad was taken to a mosque in Jerusalem. Rather, the seerah emphasizes twice that Muhammad traveled from Mecca until he came to Jerusalem's temple, and states that the apostle and Gabriel went their way until they arrived at the temple at Jerusalem. He continues, in fact, the story about Muhammad receiving the prescription of the ritual prayer in heaven is contradicted by Muhammad's own seerah. In the first year of Muhammad's prophetic career, he and his wife Khadijah learned the ritual prayer directly from Gabriel. This was about 10 years before his supposed ascension to heaven. And there are other problems in affirming that Muhammad was physically transported on his nighttime journey. For example, Aisha, the Prophet's wife, used to say, the apostle's body remained where it was, but God removed his spirit by night. And as always, I like to highlight some irony. Nonetheless, traditionalist Muslims emphatically dismiss these reports. By these reports, he's referring to ones like Aisha's that state that the night journey was only a vision, although they are present in Muhammad's trusted seerah, by affirming that at the time of the journey, Aisha was very young. So Aisha was really young and can't be trusted. But also Muslims tell us that Muhammad didn't marry a child. He married a mature young woman. Muslims, you're going to need to pick one or the other. That'd be just great. And another irony, in many historical accounts, we read that the night journey occurred immediately after the saga of the satanic verses to boost the morale of Muhammad and the Muslims. So the night journey even has a function in the larger narrative of Muhammad's life to provide a high directly following a massive low, the satanic verses. But remember, we're supposed to believe that the satanic verses did not happen, but the night journey did. No for the satanic verses, yes for the flying pseudo-donkey story. Repeat it until you believe it. Let's summarize. The night journey story is not even close to being attested in the Quran. There were no mosques in Mecca or Jerusalem at the time. The night journey contradicts the Sirah, and traditionalist defenses of the night journey expose inconsistencies. So why the story of the night journey? For many Muslims, the story serves the same function today as it did when it was being developed. It's a story that attempts to provide legitimacy to the Prophet of Islam. But such a story can only survive in an environment where careful, critical thought is suspended. Of course, that's just the type of environment the religion of Islam needs so it can thrive. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.